The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, and minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. So I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing. They're easy to toss in my bag on the go. Plus, they're vegan, gluten free, and HSA, FSA eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with promo code podcast at gruns.co. That's code podcast at gruns.co.
Hi, everybody. This is Dawn Mitchell, and welcome to Dawn of Sports. Jim and I are really excited for this week's guest because he is a Minnesota native, 17 years old, and already with Joe Gibbs Racing and tearing it up, just waiting to turn 18, because you better look out. Xfinity Series racing, because once he's full on 18, he's going to be tearing that up too. So we have our interview with William Sawalich and more coming up.
Yes, welcome back to Dawn of Sports, starring Dawn Mitchell from Fox 9. Also sometimes a backup singer at the Bar Chords events. We were at Licks on Friday night, and Dawn came up to sang some backup vocals with us. That was a blast. This is Dawn of Sports. We are brought to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios, and we are sponsored by Rudy Luther Toyota and Minnesota Masonic Charities. We appreciate everyone who listens to this show and the network. Anytime you like a show at the network, whether it's this or one of our many sports or outdoor shows, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. Dawn, tell us who our guest is today.
Oh, I'm so excited. 17-year-old William Sawalich, who is an Eden Prairie native, is with Joe Gibbs Racing, Jim, and he's unbelievable. He's itching, kind of like Dallas Turner, itching, to sack quarterbacks for real. He is itching to turn 18 so that he can be full on in the Xfinity Race Series, and he does so October 3rd. So we'll hear all about him. He just had a huge win at Elko, was just featured by your colleague, Patrick Royce, along with Brock Faber. So it's one of those people like, oh, overnight sensation. This kid's been racing, and I don't say kicks. He's going to be 18, but racing since he was 12. And he's such a nice person. So I'm excited to bring him to our listeners.
Yes, and for those new to this show, Dawn sets up great interviews with everybody from Mike Tirico to Jim Cott to Chad Greenway and what Dawn and I, when we started the show, we said we want to highlight women's sports and women journalists and women athletes, but not just do that. We also want to talk about all the other sports we like to cover. This is an anti-man show. It's just a highlighting women's show. But we like having people like William Sawalich on, and Dawn and I both cover the Vikings and all the other sports in town. We will be talking about those. For today, let's start the show by talking about what happened, last weekend, which is men's and women's basketball, both playing in France against French teams and coming out with close victories. I did see some internet chatter about, oh my God, Cheryl Reeve almost lost.
Stop it.
And you just cannot look at it that way.
I wish you could all see me right now. My hands are in the air in victory. It's like, Come on. How can you try to tarnish a gold already? Stop it.
It's a gold medal against a good team on the road and with unbearable pressure. All the women who perform for Team USA know what the legacy is and know that someday one of these teams is probably not going to win a gold medal. It's going to happen someday. If they want to delay that as long as possible. I thought they played a little tight against France. I also thought you saw one team that had been playing together since they were little kids, and the other team had been thrown together for a very brief period of time trying to figure out how to play in the Olympics. You're playing FIBA rules, which is a different kind of game, and they found a way, and that's all that matters. They found a way.
And France is playing in their own home hosting country. You can't. I mean, there was so much pressure on Team USA. I'm glad you mentioned that, Jim, because someday they're going to lose, but not today, Satan. Not today. And, they took the gold. You can't take anything away from that. When it goes in the history books, it doesn't say, oh, the game was close. No, they won the gold medal. And to see Cheryl Reeve, Nafisa Collier proudly like representing Minnesota Lynx, everything that goes with that behind them. And for Cheryl, who's been an assistant before, it's like she's been here before, but to get this as head coach, don't tarnish it. It is amazing. I am so thrilled for them. And they also had the added pressure that the men had already won the gold. I mean, there was so much kind of crashing in on them. And I agree with you. I thought they played a little tight, but they came away with it. And you can't take that away ever.
And the commonality between the two USA teams is they both have the best players. We know they have the best players, but they don't get to spend as much time together. They get thrown in together, and they also have to figure out. And listen, having all these good players is a great thing, but they also have to figure out how do you have a superstar play a lesser role. Jason Tatum was the star player on the NBA champions, and he didn't play in some games in France. You had Anthony Edwards. Some games he was a big part of the offense. Some games he barely touched the ball. It's a different animal. But what I thought was really endearing about the men's championship is just how much they care. These people are incredibly rich, incredibly famous. They don't need to go play in the Olympics for their legacy, for their bank accounts, but you could see how much they cared. You can see LeBron James at an advanced age, Steph Curry at an advanced age, taking full pride and committing to kind of a no-win proposition. They're supposed to win. If they hadn't won, there would have been recriminations. And I thought, LeBron James, the way he led that team was remarkable.
And Steph Curry played lights out. I mean, you want to say advanced age. He had like the fountain of youth right there. I was like, wow, look at him. We always say big players play big in big games. And that's exactly what he did. I also love Anthony Edwards kind of trash talking Rudy. I'm like, these are the things that happen inside the game that I was like, oh, I love seeing that. That was pretty funny. And just to see, Ant get a gold medal. And I think there was one thing on social media. I'm not sure if it was Instagram or not, but it was the Timberwolves put it out, and it was Ant walking by, and then he recognized that there was a camera there. I don't know if he knew the photographer or not, and then backed up, and he put the medal, and then he just did the smirk like, with his gold medal. I mean, I love it. But to see how they came together as a team, you have to put your egos aside. Just because you have talent and it's great doesn't mean you all know how to work together as a team and have chemistry. So you have to overcome a lot of that. Against teams that they might have professional players on there. I don't know every single detail of the other teams and the players on those teams. And I mean, Europe has great professional basketball, but when you get the greats of the greats and throw them together, like you said, Jim, it's not just that easy that people think it is.
Really interesting that Anthony Edwards has had 2 summers now where he's played for Team USA. Last summer, it was with the kind of the younger version of the team, and they weren't going to produce a lot of Olympians, but he became the dominant figure on that team. This experience might be really good for him in other ways. As we do the John Krasinski show on this network. John, of course, is wired with the Timberwolves, and he pointed out that Anthony Edwards is the kind of guy who will go up to LeBron James or Steph Curry and ask for tips, ask for advice, ask for training, advice. And he also got to play for Steve Kerr and Mark Few and Eric Spoelstra and Ty Lue. This could be another aid in his development.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I think it kind of came out with the All-Star game and everything that around the league, everybody loves Anthony Edwards. He's just loved. So he will go up. Maybe it is because he's willing to learn and ask these guys, hey, what's your secret? What's this and that? But he's just a likable guy that they want to share these things with, too. I like just kind of how pro sports has turned into this kind of situation. And many, you see it in football now. You see it in basketball where the veterans are so willing to help the rookies rather than, I don't want these rookies stealing my job. Not that I think LeBron James is worried about anything, taking away his job, but they're willing to share and help the younger guys. So it's a win-win because they all seem to love Ant.
Yes, and you mentioned football. Let's talk about J.J. McCarthy's debut and Sam Darnold's debut for the Vikings as well. We were both game. I thought Sam Darnold looked professional as one series. I thought J.J. McCarthy in this game, in that first preseason game, showed everything that he had shown in camp, which is that he has arm talent, he's accurate, his arm strength, he's mobile, he's smart, he's composed, and he makes mistakes. And the interception he threw was very consistent. Talking to a lot of Vikings people, was very consistent with the mistakes he's made in camp. So it really kind of justifies Kevin O'Connell's approach, which is he really does not want J.J. McCarthy to play in an NFL game until he's completely ready, and he doesn't think he's completely ready yet.
Absolutely. And you saw the interception. Exactly the people you're talking to is exactly what I've seen in camp. The inconsistencies, but I think the cool thing was that we almost saw him grow up in right, like a little stretch before our very eyes, because Kevin O'Connell also knew to keep him in there. He said the plan was always to get him to, the third and to let him overcome some mistakes, like, yeah, he threw that interception, but then he regrouped. Then he threw two really nice throws, one to Tristan Jackson, the other one to Sherfield for those touchdowns where it looked good. Just an aside, Justin Jefferson's reaction being mic'd up at that time is a microcosm of JJ and Jet's situation here, where eventually, hopefully, they're going to be playing together. JJ's going to be throwing touchdown pass to Jets, but just Jefferson being so excited for that. I was like, oh my gosh, this kind of made that preseason game. But what I liked after the game, and you were there, Jim, is McCarthy saying with that interception, he was like, yeah, that was an opportunity. Like, he just sees things differently. Like, yeah, I know I made the mistake. And then he corrected because it was an opportunity for me to be like, okay, that's what I keep doing wrong. This is what I got to work on. And he said it was an opportunity for me to get better. Some people think that that's cheesy. He really meant it. And I was like, that's exactly what you want to hear your rookie quarterback to say after a game like that.
Yeah, and it was also interesting. And the key here is two things can be true. Two seemingly contradictory things can be true. McCarthy can be having a great camp, and he can be justifying their draft pick and setting himself up to be the quarterback for a long time. And he can be not quite ready to beat out Sam Darnold yet. And even though that sounds like an insult, it's just, Darnold's more prepared to start in week one. But it was fun to listen to O'Connell after the game just gush about McCarthy. I mean, he's so excited about the future.
Yeah. He really is. And that's good to see. And, it has to be said that it takes a certain person like Sam Darnold to be able to withstand that too. Knowing he's the heir apparent and being confident in the fact that he's still the starter right now and he's got something else to prove. We talked earlier about egos when it came to, the Olympic gold for basketball. These two gentlemen have to put their egos aside. They both want to be a starting quarterback, but they're also helping each other. So it's kind of this unique dynamic that only I think their two personalities, a guy who's kind of been in that situation that J.J. McCarthy is in, the young gun right out of the chute, and now he's kind of the older veteran with a young guy behind him, and he's had that as well. It's just such a unique situation that I know that we haven't even played a regular season game yet, but you have to give Kevin O'Connell and the coaching staff kudos for how the whole thing is being handled. It's really impressive.
And let's also get to some harsh reality here, which is that Sam Darnold has not been able to play well in the NFL. It might not all be his fault. He's played with some bad teams. He's been put in bad situations. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what his future is. He might end up being a coach. He might end up being a career backup. It's absolutely in his best interest to handle this thing with class and with some grace, to understand that he might get passed by J.J. McCarthy in October or November or December. And, if he wants to have a career, he's going to have to handle this well.
Right. Exactly. But I think the cool thing is too that you never know what's going to happen, and they know that. And someone asked me, I think we're in either a pregame show or a postgame show, and the question was, are you going to? Do you think that we'll see JJ McCarthy in Week 9? And I'm like, well, I hope not. And everyone looked at me like, why? I'm like, because that means that Sam Darnold did not play well. So it means the Vikings are not doing well. And then you're throwing a guy into a situation. Do I want to see J.J. McCarthy get into a game and see what he can do with this team? I do. But also, like, do you want the team to be in a situation where their starting quarterback had to be supplanted? Either that's going to be injury or he's playing horrible. So that's kind of a weird question to ask, but that's how I feel about it. I don't know. How do you feel about it, Jim?
An injury could happen at any time, and when that injury happens, you would hope that JJ McCarthy would be their best choice to be the backup. Although I don't think that's settled yet. They view Nick Mullins as a guy who can take, be kind of a human shield for JJ McCarthy and step in if he's not quite ready yet.
Human shield.
I feel like if McCarthy plays this year, it probably is a bad sign that this season hasn't gone the way they wanted to, or that Darnold wasn't good enough. It could
That's
end up
exactly how I was taking it.
Yeah.
Right.
It could also
Right.
benefit them in the long run because you could get McCarthy in the mix and having him learn in NFL games. I'm going to set this up. One of our next few weeks, maybe when we're previewing the season opener at New York, at Jersey, actually. How do I even phrase it? This is the Vikings are a very awkward situation, and I want to get into it in more detail with you in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
The head coach and the general manager didn't get their contracts extended, and they are in a season where it's hard to tell whether the organization is actually doing everything it can to win this year or whether they are looking more to the future. So it's kind of a weird, awkward situation. Listen, if they win, that there are no problems. They get contract extensions, they stick around, everything's great. But if this could be an awkward year in that if this team doesn't win, but does show some promise toward the end of the year, how does management handle it?
Yeah, I know when Mark Wolf spoke about that last week, so when this airs a couple of weeks ago, he made all indications that he's very happy with the shift that has happened in the organization, both on the field and behind the scenes, culturally, the people they brought in, the extensions that they've made. But that can all be owner speak. You just never know. But the fact that, they're not even talking, because someone said, well, are you talking and just not sharing it with us? Or are you just really not talking and you'll do it at the end of the year? And he said both. We are not talking to Kwesi or Kevin about a contract extension, and we'll deal with that when the season's over. So, we always know, Jim, the truth lies somewhere in the middle, right? You could still love the direction that, they're taking them. But if they don't win, what are you going to do? So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What if Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi get to the end of this year and they've had 2 straight losing seasons? They've had losing seasons 2 of their 3 years. They're going to have to be able to say, hey, look at the development of Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy and look at what we have in terms of cap space going forward. We can win with this group, but they're going to have to show something, whether it's winning or promise, to get contract extensions. And that always just puts a little bit of extra pressure on everything you do.
Yep. And it's not, they're not mutually exclusive that they're a package deal,
Right.
They could
could
say,
hey, Kevin O'Connell's developing JJ McCarthy, great, but Kwesi really messed up that one draft, and we're not really comfortable with him making decisions, or vice versa.
Exactly. So it will be interesting. I just think it was very smart of the Wilfs right now with so many variables in play. You went into this year thinking you had the cornerback situation shored up. You do not now, right? Things can happen out of your control. And now you have to see how this quarterback situation plays out. They're setting themselves up in the best way possible, I think, but you don't know how it's going to shake out. So there's so many question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. So I think it's smart for them to say, we'll deal with this all. We'll see how this year shakes out.
No doubt. So our guest is going to be William Sawalich. I messed that up, didn't I? William Sawalich. Will you pronounce it for me?
Sawalich. That was good. You said it
Sawalich.
right the
Thank
first time.
you. Yeah,
Sawalich.
I was, but I sometimes I'm such a print guy. I always think about spelling more than I think about
You're
pronunciation.
so
Sometimes I get in the
lucky.
middle. Sometimes I get in the middle of a pronunciation. I go, am I blowing this? I don't want to blow this.
You know what
Anyway,
the key is, Jim? This is the key
what?
to TV. Say it with confidence, even if it's wrong.
Well, that's what as a guitarist, that's what we say in our band is if you make a mistake, do it again, and it'll sound like you meant it.
Or seeing
Anyway,
TV, though, if you say it wrong, then you quickly re-say it again a different way.
right, there you go. Yeah, it
There
is a
you
little
go.
different in that case. So check out our lineup at talknorth.com. We've got the best sports lineup in town. Krasinski on the Wolves, Russo on hockey, Kevin Gorg on hockey. We've added Randy Shaver doing his high school football show, which is a great addition for us,
Yeah, so awesome.
and
Yeah.
it's his passion. We have Roy Smalley, Lavelle Neal, and myself on the Twins, Jeff Diamond on the Vikings, John Millay on Preps, outdoor content, Kevin Gorg. We have just so many good people. I always forget to name them all because we have so many good people. So check it all out. Thanks to our producer, Alex Haugen. Let's thank our longtime sponsor, Rudy Luther Toyota.
Ready for a women-forward car dealership? Rudy Luther Toyota empowers their many women on staff in sales, management, and service. Whether you are looking for a new Toyota or pre-owned vehicle, Rudy Luther Toyota has something for everyone. Every vehicle comes with a Luther Advantage. 10 cents off fuel and car wash discounts at holiday stations, Luther Advantage warranty, and 5-day return policy on pre-owned vehicles. Located just 5 minutes west of downtown Minneapolis, off 394 and General Mills Boulevard. And they're also hiring. Want to join the team but don't know where to start? Visit rudyluthertoyota.com today.
Let's also thank Minnesota Masonic Charities.
When people think of the Freemasons, they often think of secret handshakes and unusual hats, and of course, the pancake breakfast. Minnesota Masonic Charities would prefer that you think about the work that they do right here in our community. Places like the Masonic Cancer Center at the University of Minnesota or the Masonic Children's Hospital and the Masonic Home in Bloomington. They are just a few examples of the important work that the Freemasons support here in Minnesota. As part of the largest fraternal organization in the world, Masons have consistently answered the call when it comes to charitable needs. I am happy that Minnesota Masonic Charities has chosen Minnesota Bound and this podcast as a place to help spread the word. We look forward to learning so much more about their many programs here in the weeks to come.
And now from the Aquarius Home Services Studios, here's Don's chat with William Sawalich.
Well, I'm really excited about our guest today, Jim, because I have met William Sawalich a year ago. I thought it was 2 years ago, but time for us old people, it's just not the same ever since we had that lockdown. But William is hailing from Eden Prairie, their own star. He's a race car driver right now with Joe Gibbs Racing. He's also racing NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He's the 2023 ARCA Menards Series East champion, and soon we're waiting for his 18th birthday to come up. Soon we'll be tearing it up on that NASCAR Xfinity Series. William Sawalich. William, thank you for joining us on this podcast today. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you again.
It is so good to see you kind of grow up before our very eyes. I know you're just waiting to turn 18 so everything can change, but let's just celebrate what you've done. Unbelievable, stunning comeback at Elko. You had a mid-race crash. I think it was thunder and lightning. There was a storm. You pulled it together, and you ended up winning the Shore Lunch 250. And if I recall, you were second place the year before, so this was like a comeback, correct?
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of redemption for us. I mean, we had a really fast car before we had the incident with the lap car. That incident was just unfortunate and kind of is what it is situation. But we made a good comeback in the third segment, had good speed then, and we were able to make our way from 8th to 1st in about 75 laps ish. So really proud to do that. My team gave me a great car. As always, we always have a shot to win every time we go to a race. So super thankful for that. And, Yeah, the lightning, like you mentioned in the background, was really cool, and honestly, was pretty cool. Like I could see it in the car, and I was wondering if they were going to call it or start to call it. So I was just kind of thinking the whole time that we were running out of time.
Oh no. But did that make the adrenaline speed up even more, or does it not affect you that way?
Not so much. I mean, I had to get up to the front either way as fast as I could, so I just focused on that and focused on passing cars.
You know, we ask all kinds of athletes this question, and I'm imagining it has to be the same for you. It does feel a little different, I am sure, but I want your opinion on coming home, so to speak. You know, a home track near home. Because I know now you live in North Carolina, but from Eden Prairie, does it give you that extra like oomph when you get into the car?
Yeah, for sure. Just an extra bit of confidence and an extra bit of drive. I mean, it was cool to get it done in front of the home crowd in Minnesota. I grew up racing right across the street at Little Elko. I grew up racing quarter midgets there when I was 9, and then I started in legend cars at the big track at Elko when I was 12. So there was just a lot of memories there, and a lot of track time and smaller cars. And the first time I was on a big car on that track was the ARCA race last year when we finished second. So always had good luck at that track. It's a really good track. It's fun to race on, as we saw a few weeks ago.
I mean, it's only been 5 years. Do you take a second and be like, wow, look how much I've accomplished since I was 12 coming here at Little Elko, and now I'm here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it went by really, really fast. We moved down south in 2021 or 2022, and that only felt like it was a year ago. So it's definitely been a big change, but honestly, a pretty smooth change, and I'm enjoying every step of the way.
Oh, it is crazy. So let's back up a little bit. When here you are, you're a young racer, you're getting your career off, and I know that you had many offers. And then Joe Gibbs Racing comes calling. You know, I mean, you can't say no to Joe Gibbs anyway, but just an amazing human. But tell us how that was when you first got connected and how that all got to you actually signing up and becoming number 18, you know, racing in his Toyota for his team. That's a dream come true.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got great history in sports and football and racing, obviously. Many championships, a Super Bowl, maybe 2 Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken. So he knows how to lead a team, and I really look up to him on that and his leadership. We had a few different options going into the 2023 season last year, and Joe Gibbs Racing was one of the options, and obviously the best option for me in my development. And I mean, it's been great ever since our first race in Phoenix. We had a shot to win that one, and every other race since then, we've had a shot to win in the fastest car. So it's really great to be in this organization, and really proud to have Minnesota over my head with me.
I think the last time we talked, you said something about you're getting to know him because he's an unbelievable leader of people, first of all, but he has a stare, right? Like you don't want to get the Joe Gibbs stare. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, thankfully, I haven't gotten it yet,
Yeah,
but I'm sure
thankfully.
there might come a time. But yeah, I mean, he just leads the team really well, and he's always there for me, and always watches the races, and is always following along. So I mean, it's really cool to have him behind me, and I can talk to him whenever I need, and he's just this is just a really good organization to be a part of for me right
How
now.
is that relationship? Are you almost like one of his kids now? And what have you learned most from him already in this short time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've come pretty close within the past year, 2 years that I've been here. Um, and even just the first time meeting him, I mean, he was really friendly, really warm and welcome. And it was just cool the first time. I mean, I've watched him on TV all these years, and now I get to drive for him. It's just a surreal feeling, honestly.
Oh, it
And
is incredible. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's cool because like I said, grew up watching him on TV, and even watching his leadership at the track. You know, before every race, he does a prayer circle, and um, yeah, now I'm just a part of it. So, like I said, just really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. You couldn't be in better hands, and it probably makes you feel good and your family that you picked the right place to be, the right team to be racing for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, my family's 100% behind me on it, and they also knew it was the best decision for me.
William, I actually spent a lot of time around Joe Gibbs when he's a football coach. It's like spent a couple of weeks with him before he came to Minnesota to win a Super Bowl in the Metrodome, and I'm just not sure the modern football fan understands how good he was. He won three different Super Bowls with three different non-Hall of Fame quarterbacks, three different lead running backs, basically three different rosters. I mean, he was great, and he was famous for being one of the first coaches who would like sleep in his office all week before big games. And so I'm I'm covering the that team before they come to the Metrodome, and a buddy of mine covered him for the Washington Post, and my buddy's asking Joe, did you sleep in your office this week? And Joe's like, oh, we don't need to talk about it. He's just avoiding the subject, right? And my buddy finally goes, well, your car has had the same snow on it all week, so I know you slept in your office all week. And Joe said, man, I got to remember to have an intern remove my car every once in a while.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, those stats you gave at the beginning right there, I mean, that just shows he can put a team together with anything. And that's kind of what you need to do in this sport for sure, because there's so many moving pieces.
And he was smart. He moved where it doesn't really snow, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Yes. Yeah, maybe once a year, and when it does, the whole state shuts down. So it's not like Minnesota.
That might be your task, though, William. You got to be careful. You might be like, "Hey, go, dust off my car, just so no one knows I've been here for how many days." Yeah. So can we explain for some of the listeners that are out there that may not really know? I know that you're racing in ARCA races. I mean, congrats to you. I think Elko, if I'm correct, was your fifth win in 8 full field ARCA races, but since you're not there full time, you're not part of the points race. So I know I had some friends that were confused because they follow all the local athletes, and especially where, there's just an article about you, which we'll get to in a second. But they're like, well, how come he's not in the points race? What do you mean? What do you mean? It's you're part time because you're racing other races. Is that correct? And then you're just waiting till the end of the month, and also until you're 18 to go full on in Xfinity. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. So because I'm not 18, I'm not able to run all the full scheduled ARCA races, which are on tracks that are a mile and up in distance. So I'm not able to run the Michigans, the Kansas. So those just I'm not able to run the full season, so I can't get the maximum amount of points per se. So then we just kind of pick and choose the races that I can do and gain the most experience that I can at the time. And then when I do turn 18, I'll be able to run the mile and up tracks in the Xfinity car for Joe Gibbs Racing and as well in the truck series.
So are you just chomping at the bit until you turn 18? How was that for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been racing in short tracks pretty much all my life, and what kind of am itching to get on a different kind of track and experience a different kind of racing. And there's a lot more variables that kind of unlock when you go to the bigger tracks.
Well, tell us about those variables. Like, how is it different mentally? Obviously, longer tracks, different strategy, right?
Yeah. So I haven't been on one yet, but from what I've heard, that one you have a lot more time to think, right? The straightaways are longer, but that means the corners are longer. So it's just it's going to feel a lot different, and you go faster. So then that means more air movement. So there's a thing called dirty air, and it's when you're behind another car and you don't have as much downforce on your car. So then your handling goes away a little bit. So that's kind of present on some short tracks and even the tracks that are a mile. But it will be magnified, obviously, the faster you go. And the biggest track that I have been on Daytona, but that was just for a test. I haven't actually raced it.
Right.
So I've kind of gotten a feel for it, but not the real deal.
So they don't even let you practice on that until you're 18, right?
Well, so I got to do the Daytona test earlier this year and the beginning of last year.
So they have to be like official tests. It's not like you can just like get track time somewhere. Like how does
Correct.
that work?
Yeah, so we can't actually go test the car on any track that we're going to race at. So we have to go pick a track that we don't race at, and that's just been the rule forever for
Yeah.
ARCA. But for Xfinity and Truck and Cup, you can't test at all. So there's really strict testing rules, and it's been like that for I say a while now too. So um, it's tough being a rookie and just jumping in the car and having to figure it out while these other guys have been doing it for 10+ years and have all that experience on you.
Do you have to be patient with yourself then at that? Like, hey, I'm only 17, but I have all these high hopes. This is what I want to do. Guys have 10 years more experience on me. How is that like kind of harnessing your ambitions and knowing what you want to do with like what the reality of the situation is?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely possible to contend with those guys. The biggest tool that I have right now is the simulator at TRD, which I get to use weekly. So I'm really grateful for that and just getting that extra experience before I get to the track. Even though it's not the real thing, it's the closest thing you can get.
Well, I mentioned this article. Patrick Royce wrote an awesome article, and I was so proud because I know that when we met, I was so happy that you were getting your career started and you're doing so well. And then to see this awesome article that kind of shines a light on yourself and Brock Faber, like the local young stars up and coming. How did that make you feel when you read that article and that when Royce wanted to chat with you? It was so glowing of you, and I think it's well deserved. I think it's great that people now can see these young native Minnesotans that are really being so highly touted in their own sporting fields.
Yeah, no, it's really, really cool, and I'm glad to have Minnesota support me along the way, and just going up there and seeing what I can do, and hopefully it'll grow from here.
Do you have a lot of people saying, wow, like contacting you now saying, wow, I didn't know you're from Minnesota, and wow, and tell us more about your career? I mean, this is pretty much when you hit the Xfinity series and you can start doing stuff when you're 18. I have a feeling that you're going to kind of explode on the scene, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely the hope. Yeah, I mean, I kind of have to tell everyone that I'm from Minnesota, but yeah, it's definitely getting more known that I'm from Minnesota, and my goal is to be the first Minnesotan to win a NASCAR championship or NASCAR race because I don't believe that's been done before. So
Nice.
that's a long time goal of mine. And I started in quarter midgets when I was 9, across the street from Elko Speedway. It's called Little Elko Speedway. And I did that for about 4 years. Then I moved up to the big track when I was 12, and I started racing legend cars there. I got my first win in 2020, so 4 years ago, almost on the exact day that we won the Elko race in the ARCA car. So
Oh,
that
that's
was
cool.
extra special.
Do you
And then
practice your burnouts then? Is that what you do? Like your celebrations, or does that just come like natural for you?
well, it's got to come natural because it's definitely hard on the motor and
Yeah.
the equipment. So that's why they're so short, and but it's definitely fun to do. And obviously, the more you win, the more practice you get.
So coming up, I know that you said you're going to sit out Michigan, the Henry Ford Health, because you're not 18 yet. But then you have Illinois State Fairgrounds. You have a race. Can you tell us about what's coming up for you next?
Yeah. So our next race is at Springfield, and that's a mile dirt oval. So a bit of a different track for me. Um, First time on it was last year, and obviously I'm not a dirt racer, so it's completely new for me. And I've been doing pavement my whole life. So that'll be just kind of a fun race to do. And I've got some more truck series starts coming up in Milwaukee. The next ARCA East Series race is in Milwaukee. So it's a doubleheader with the truck on the same day. And then my first Xfinity Series start is in Homestead, Miami, October 26th. And then I have 2 more after that, Martinsville and Phoenix.
So that's great. So you can get like to kind of dip your toe into the Xfinity series. How does that work if you're not quite 8? Well, it's the end of October. You'll have already been 18, right?
Yes, so I turn 18 October 3rd, and then the race is October
Oh.
26th.
Oh, so that's going to be huge for you. I'm so excited. That's coming up.
Yes. Yep, no, it's really exciting, and I've been waiting for it all year.
Yes. Well, you've been waiting for it for almost 18, it seems like, right? Ever since you were
Right.
12, all right? Marking. So your birthday's October 3rd, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Hey, I've always wanted to ask people this, and I've been in some like spec cars. Juan Pablo Montoya had a track attack racing school years ago that I did for a story, but I was in like the X, gosh, what was it? It's kind of like, you can't downshift. It's like an X transmission. Have you ever seen those little spec cars? But I've never asked,
Possibly.
any of these racers when I've had a chance to. So I want to. When you get behind the wheel of your normal car, how do you not get speeding tickets?
Because we know when to go fast and we know when to go slow.
But do you
That's
ever
about
like, you ever say like, I'm in the slowest car ever. I'm on this highway. Like, does it get itchy? Like I always say, like, what's the mentality, or is it just relaxing? Or can you just separate it?
I mean, yeah, you kind of get all that out on the track. You do maybe 400 laps on the racetrack, going 100 something miles an hour. I mean, depends on the track, or 200 miles an hour at Daytona and Talladega. So you kind of get that all out there, and it's really not the same feeling when you're in like a street car compared to a race car.
No, because
Um,
I've been in some race cars, and it's like you got to be strong to hold on to that wheel. It's not like a nice, enjoyable, smooth ride.
yeah, for sure, it's definitely physical, and you don't
It
have the music
is.
playing when you're driving and all that.
It's loud. It smells like gas. You got to hang on to the wheel. Lord have mercy. So just stay awake when you're in your nice, calm, quiet car on the highway. It's like that's got
Exactly.
to be your zen time. Is that right?
Uh, yeah, yeah, for sure, but definitely want to get from A to B as efficiently as possible.
Oh, that sounds very clinical. Come on. Efficiency. See, you can't even separate yourself when you're just kind of driving your normal car. Because I said I can't really think of any other sport where you really have to do what you do on a daily basis in a different situation just to get to work. You got to drive to get to work. I mean, unless you could take a train there or something. I'm assuming you drive to get to the track. So it's just kind of a
Yes,
two totally different. Like no ice skater will like skate their way to a rink. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a
exactly.
unique
It's
situation.
always there for sure.
Well,
Always
what
working
would
on something.
what would you like, especially so racing fans in Minnesota? Because I think around the rest of the country, people might say, wow, they're racing in Minnesota? It doesn't always snow. There's some big racing fans here. What do you want racing fans, especially in Minnesota, to know about you and your dreams and how much you appreciate them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's been so many people in Minnesota that have supported my racing since day one and just helped me out at the track, in quarter midgets and legend cars, and even starting in late models. So I've always had the support of Minnesota, and hopefully it'll continue to grow. The thing I want them to know is that I'm going to try and be the first NASCAR Cup Series champion from Minnesota. That's the goal.
Yes. All right. I'm circling on my calendar. That race in Homestead, Florida is October what? The 26th, you said? Is that right?
26th. Yep.
October 26th. That is the big day. I am really excited for you, William. I have been for a couple of years now. So excited when you started really kind of making the jump and signing with Joe's team, and you were just spectacular. You're a fine person, a great young man. But to see you start achieving these racing dreams, it makes me proud, and you're making the whole state of Minnesota proud. I think you should know that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on. And I hope the next time we chat, we can say that you officially are the first Minnesotan to win an Xfinity NASCAR race.
Exactly. Well, hopefully it's sooner than that, but I'll talk to you then.
Okay. All right. Thank you. William Sawalich joining the podcast. Hopefully we'll talk to him soon with a lot of hardware and accolades to come. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, William.